Welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you guys for stopping by, and we're talking cheap winter fragrances today. It is probably the most popular seasonal list, all four seasons, is the cheapies. And there's no Middle Eastern stuff here. We did a specific clone winter list already. Definitely check that out. I'll have an iCard somewhere throughout that video. If you click one, there's usually a little menu of all the different iCard spots for different videos to check out. I'll have that in there for any of you that want to check it out. We did designers already too. I don't think I did the niche one yet. We might do, I'll double check. I don't think I did niche yet. But we're doing cheapies today. So cheapies for me is below $50 USD, or, you know, there's maybe a little spot to cheat here where maybe you can find it 52, 53 bucks. No big deal, because there is one that kind of hovers around that's in this list. But some great stuff, some returning favorites that I gravitate to this time of year, and some that are new to the collection that I really think you guys should check out. So let's get into these 10. Stay tuned. This first one is woodsy, spicy, and a little fruity. You can get 60 mLs for well below the price cutoff for this topic. And 100 mLs you can get just a few dollars more in the $58, $60 range. So depending on bottle size, might be a little over our limit, or under our limit. Depends on where you find it. But Brioni Eau de Parfum Intense. This is probably the most interesting fragrance in this bunch, okay? Because it's got a synthetic oud smell to it with some saffron, citrus, and pink pepper. It's a little fruity. It's smoky. Man, this is some good stuff. The opening might be a little much for you, but it dries down beautifully into a dry, slightly fruity, smoky, woodsy smell. It's a little metallic, the way the saffron comes across. It doesn't just offer spice. I think it's a combination of that mixing with the brightness of the pink pepper. This is a very interesting fragrance. All four of the fragrances in this line actually are really good in my opinion. You do get some ambroxan to provide a little bit of freshness, but this is, of the four, I think the one that's most appropriate for the winter cold. While not being just too dark and heavy, it's got darker, denser elements to it that I think make it kind of succeed better in the winter than the other three in the line at the recording this, because we have the Essential, which I think is perfect for the fall. Then we have Eclat, which is perfect for the summer. And I think EDP can kind of be a year-round signature. But the Intense, clearly, if you, and don't think oud funk, think more slight touch of funk with a dry pencil shaving kind of smell to it. More so if you like that kind of synthetic oud, you'll probably like this, because it's very much a woodsy dominant fragrance with all those supporting nuances that I mentioned before, with some great performance for a really, really good price. And that's Brioni Eau de Parfum Intense. Now, if you get this 50 ml like I have, you'll definitely make it under the price cutoff. A few bucks more will get you 100 ml, but a few sprays is all you need of this one. I've choked people out in a car with this one, most notably my dear friend George Zaharoff. I had him roll his window down from 4 sprays of this fragrance because it was just so overwhelming. It is Narciso Rodriguez. For him, Bleu Noir Parfum. You powdery iris lovers, this is one of the best designer iris fragrances I've ever smelled. They got a bunch of really good ones. If you like the style, you'll love this one. Beautiful, buttery, rich suede smells. It dries a little fresh and spicy at the top, while still being pretty heavy overall with that waxy iris smell. That Dior Homme type of iris. This is so good. This is very much in the same vein of a Dior Homme Intense, but more leather heavy, not as sweet. It's spicier. It's a bit spicier and more leather, like I said, than it is sweet, whereas you still get a little bit of leather with Dior Homme Intense, but it's a very sweet fragrance. This is kind of like a happy medium of Valentino Uomo Intense meets a little bit of Dior Homme Intense, but still kind of makes its own little twist, but it falls into that family of fragrances. So if you have those, yeah, there's going to be some redundancy here, but at the same time, this is like the most affordable option of the group, and the quality is really good. It's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal, and for being a Parfum concentration, it's quite loud. Lasts a long time, but the first hour and a half or so, loud. This is a strong, strong fragrance. So keep that in mind. Like I said, 50 ml will go a very, very long way for you guys. But beautiful for those of you that like good iris, especially good designer iris for this time of year. You're going to want to check out for him from Narciso Rodriguez. This is Bleu Noir Parfum. Basically, a coffee leather version of Eros is how you can look at this. In my opinion, the best of the line. I recently wore its original, which smells like coffee cake. But here we are talking about Salvatore Ferragamo's Uomo Signature. This is still phenomenal, though prices have crept up a little bit. You're looking at around 50 bucks to get 100 ml these days, which I'm just going to say it's still a great fragrance at that price. But you have this sweet fruitiness at the top, nice coffee note with a soft, like brown leather type of smell to it. This is amazing. This is a compliment magnet. It's not too loud. It's not like a room-filling beast, but it's pretty strong early on. For about an hour to 2 hours. Depends on your skin's going to vary how this is going to perform, obviously. And then your olfactive perception, how you detect it, your anosmia, all these things factor in. But I get 8 to 10 hours solid every time I've ever worn this one. I think it's one of the best fragrances Salvatore Ferragamo's ever put out, and you can get them. You can always get their fragrances for a really good price, especially their average designer line fragrances. I know they have some more higher level stuff, but this is the best one. Urban feels good. I've never tried Special Blend. The original's really good. Casual Life, underappreciated, musky violet leaf coffee. It's an interesting fragrance, but Uomo Signature, in my opinion, if I'm keeping one, I'm keeping this one. And it happens to be one of the best designer affordable fragrances for winter I've ever smelled. It pretty much is a recurring theme in this particular topic from year upon year. Definitely check this one out if you haven't yet. Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo Signature. Peppery iris and leather with a bit of suede. It's when you smell it, it's like, wait, that's an Antonio Banderas fragrance? Yeah. The Icon Eau de Parfum, way better than you may think it is going into it. This is so good, and you can get it for around 30 bucks, 20 to 30 bucks, depending on where you find it. This is so good. They have a new version. I want to say they named it Elixir to jump on the trend. It's a silver bottle. I remember seeing a silver bottle. I've never tried the EDT. The EDT is supposedly like Sauvage. This is kind of like Code Parfum meets Profumo, a little bit. It kind of smells like Code, but the iris and everything from the Parfum, but a little bit of the heavier leather featuring from Code Profumo. This is really, really good. Oh, great atomizer. Like, it's got a little bit of fruitiness at the top, a little fruity sweet, but gets into that kind of waxy, powdery iris smell with this suede leather combo. This is good stuff. A lot of aromatics here. I believe some juniper instead of lavender, so it's not really all that soapy, but it has kind of this freshness that kind of goes with that fruity smell at the top. And it's an, solid performer. This is a 6 to 8 hour fragrance on my skin. Above average stuff. Not a beast, but far from weak. You may get 5 or 6 hours if you have drier skin. I still wouldn't shake a stick at that for the money because it surprises me at how good this smells. It doesn't smell like a $30 fragrance to me. It doesn't smell super cheap and synthetic. It's surprising to think it's an Antonio Banderas fragrance, to be honest with you guys. Don't get me wrong. There's a bunch of great stuff that they put out, but I think this is the cream of the crop, and it's definitely the one I would say is worth checking out for the winter from the house in general, especially if you like iris. We've got another iris fragrance here in this particular list topic. I'll get this to focus. That would just be awesome, wouldn't it? And it's Antonio Banderas, the Icon Eau de Parfum. How about a spicy aromatic with a fougere chypre type of dry down that's kind of based around like some patchouli, oak moss. I believe there's a little bit of leather. Bright, spicy aromatic. Even has this absinthe note that gives it a little bit of a boozy feel to it. Dries down into some sweet vanilla with some oak moss, basically. It's cheap, but it's great. It's Drakkar Intense from Guy Laroche. Drakkar Noir can't get all the love because this is good. I haven't worn it in a little while. Shame on me. It's going in the rotation. In fact, I think I'm going to wear it this week because I've been in the mood for some spicy aromatics and I've been debating on which one to grab. And I was thinking at the barber's, but I'm going to go with this because we're spraying that. God, it's so good. Been a little while since I've smelled it. And I knew I wanted to talk about it because I want to put it in the rotation this winter. I don't just recommend these to you guys. This is like, hey, I want to wear these this season. So I'm going to tell you guys about them, basically is what it is. And maybe if you want to take me up on the suggestion, you go for it. But nothing crazy good here. It's not like it's some super new original DNA. It's an aromatic fougere barbershop style fragrance reimagined with a slight modern touch. Like I said, that absinthe vanilla combo gives a little bit of booziness with a more modern vanilla kind of generic dry down, I guess you could say, because of the vanilla. But I do get all the spicy green and aromatic elements that make for a timeless barbershop style. Like I said, with those modern elements and touches to it to bring it closer to the modern era. And performance is solid on this one. I've gotten at least 6 hours every time I've worn this one. Admittedly, it's been a little while, but this is one you could wear year-round if you really wanted to. But I think for the type of winter I'm going to have here in the Panhandle of Florida, I think this is an ideal choice. And I'm getting this one in the rotation here this week at the recording of this video because I really want to wear it now that I'm sniffing on it. So worth checking out. You can get this one around 30 bucks. It's Laroche Drakkar Intense. Now this is that fragrance that kind of blurs the line of cheap because it's always around 50 bucks. Could go up to 60, but typically around 50 bucks. It's the best affordable vanilla I've ever smelled for men. It is Mercedes-Benz Club Black, the hype beast and a half. The hype is real on this one, people. It's great. Yes, it's vanilla based, but it's also a little smoky. It's got some ambroxan to kind of help it push and give it some freshness with a nice warm ambery feel, a little bit of spice, but not much. So alluring and attractive, a very charismatic scent profile. This one will really draw you in, both as the wearer and for those that get close to you and around you, your significant other, for example. This is a great date night option, but in the cold, I wear this kind of stuff during the day, not just in the evenings. Obviously, it kind of works better in the evenings if we're calling a spade here. It's a better evening fragrance than it is daytime wear, but like most wanted Parfum, the Stronger With You fragrances, like in the winter, I wear those during the day. Same goes here. I'll wear this during the day. I think it just transitions really well into the evenings. If you're pulling double duty that day, if you just had stuff going on during the day, you picked a great fragrance for it. Now you're meeting the wife out for dinner or something, for example, or you have a business meeting, or you go and have some drinks or something in the evening. Throw some more sprays on because it doubles phenomenally in the evening, not just in the winter. But man, this is such a great pick. The hype I've always felt was warranted and justified with this one. You can get your hands on it and you like smoky vanilla. It's kind of how you look at it. It's a fresh yet smoky ambery vanilla. You're going to want to check this out. It's one of the GOATs when it comes to affordable for Christmas. It's Mercedes-Benz Club Black. This one's as simple as the name sounds. You can find 200 mLs now for 35 bucks at the rack stores. Around 20 to 23 bucks for the 75 ml, which we're going to be featuring today. What I believe to be the best Banana Republic icon fragrance, in my opinion, of course. Tobacco and tonka bean. It has a cooling effect to it, like an ice cream like tonka bean vanilla smell. Powdery, rich, earthy tobacco. It's a beautiful sweet tobacco is how you can look at it. This is so good. So good. It's like a milky vanilla bean ice cream kind of smell. It's even got a cooling smell to it. Like I really think vanilla bean ice cream with the tonka bean oil that they use here. Very few times have I've come across that. This is one of those fragrances. Great performance, 6-7 hours easily on this fragrance for something you're going to pay 23 bucks for. It's hard to gripe that you're not getting 12 hours. Don't complain about that. You paid $23 for the fragrance. Be happy with your 6 hours. You know what I mean? 6 hours is a long time. That's a quarter of a day, and you're not awake for all 24 hours. Let's be real here. This guy is still floating in the air. And this one will grab some attention. Obviously, you have to like sweet fragrances. You have to like sweet and powdery fragrances. And then on top of that, you get a rich, thick, earthy tobacco smell that blends so smooth and harmoniously with that ice cream smell. It's a powdery ice cream smell. There's other notes here, but that's the most simplistic way I can describe this fragrance because that's exactly what it sounds like to me. When I come across a very layman's term way to describe a fragrance, I run with that shit. And that's what we're doing here because that's what it smells like. Vanilla bean ice cream and tobacco plus powder. If that sounds appetizing in any way, shape, or form, because it is when you smell it, you're going to want to scoop this one up at your local Burlington's is the main culprit to get it. You can find them at Beal's, Marshall's, Ross, all the different places. Check them out. Scoop this up for cheap. There's a link below if you can't find it. You're going to pay a little more online, but it's still cheap and it's still great. It's Tobacco and Tonka Bean from Banana Republic. I continue to hype this fragrance. It deserves it. We have another iris fragrance, guys. I like iris this time of year. What can I say? See what I'm saying? It's a me list. It's not just a recommend to you list. It's a me list. Uomo Parfum. 2 stages. You get praline, gourmand, sweet, and earthy iris that transitions to sweet, creamy, smooth vanilla sweetness, and powdery, typical designer iris. So it's two different types of sweet and powdery. Sweet and floral, I guess, would be the way to put it. And it's a monster. This is definitely... Yeah, this is the strongest fragrance in this video. Be wary of these sprays. So good, though. Has a little bit of the original's DNA, but thank God it does not smell exactly like the original. This is so much better. This is a more casual iris type of fragrance because it's so sweet, it's playful, it's nothing serious here. There is an elegance to it, a call to elegance, if you will, because it's so powdery floral. But I think it's a more casual iris type of fragrance because most of the time, powdery florals are going to be a dressier occasion, maybe a bit more of a formal attire. And sure, you could absolutely go that route with this, but I think this will work just fine with a hoodie too. That's the way I wear it. So you can get this for around 34 bucks for a 4.2 ounce, I believe it is. Yep. 125 ml for 34 bucks. You only need 3 or 4 sprays and everybody around you is going to smell you. You just got to like powder and you got to like sweet. It goes right back to that again because that's like my thing this time of year. So naturally we have, just as far as powdery, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 of these fragrances are powdery iris fragrances in this list because that's my jam this time of year. That's what I like. So if you have a similar taste to mine, you're probably loving this list. And you probably will love Uomo Parfum if you haven't tried it yet. If Emporio Armani Stronger With You had a fruity flanker, it would be Cristiano, like fruity sweet, less of the bubblegum sweetness, but very much smells like the original Strong With You Eau de Toilette. This is like a $30 substitute for that. It literally smells just like it. It's not as strong, as long lasting, but it's 6 to 8 hours in longevity in itself. For 30 bucks, this is one of the better celebrity sport athlete fragrances I've ever smelled. Great atomizer, great smell, great bottle too. I think everything about this is underappreciated for what you get for your money. You can get 50 mLs even cheaper than that, around 20 bucks. But for $30, God, it smells so good. Because I love the Strong With You DNA. And this smells like a not so much tropical, but very fruity sweet opening to Stronger With You. It has kind of the cinnamon heavy, roasted chestnut type of smell, ambery, aromatic, everything that I personally think is phenomenal about Strong With You, because I literally love the whole line at the recording of this. The new tobacco flanker hasn't hit the market completely yet, so I will get that when it comes. But I have all of them, and I will have the tobacco flanker when it comes. Because I just love that DNA. I think it's a wonderful scent profile. And here you get it on a budget with some added fruitiness and some really good performance for a great price. It's a wonderful alternative that's not exactly a carbon copy, but definitely smells in line with the rest of the DNA. I think this is a great choice for some people to check out. It's Cristiano Ronaldo's CR7 Game On. Last but not least, I couldn't help myself with this one. You know, some recommendations are just so good, so value-packed, in my opinion, that they deserve to show up year in and year out for what suits them best. And I think when it comes to winter cheapies for 20 bucks, Guess 1981 Los Angeles is one of the best you can buy. It is a warmer, spicier Versace Eros. Even though it does not share a similar note pyramid, it smells like Versace Eros with this dry black pepper opening and a more warm and ambery dry down. That color scheme is very fitting. Solid performance too. I've gotten at least 6 hours every time I've ever worn it. This is a great replacement for Eros Eau de Toilette. If you have this, you really don't need Eros Eau de Toilette. And fragrances like this and Oxford Blue from English Laundry are why I'd have every Eros except the Eau de Toilette. Because this is such a good $20 substitute for it that I've recommended this one many times over the years, not just as a great winter affordable fragrance, but I mean, damn it. It's a great winter affordable fragrance. Younger fellas that happen to be watching this that don't have a lot to spend but want to smell great, want to get some compliments, something that can double during the day and going out on dates, going hang out with friends, and you're bound to get some compliments because you're going to smell great. It has a youthful, juvenile side to it, very playful, if you will. This is one of those recommendations I highly throw your way. Try try this one for 20 bucks. Guess 1981 Los Angeles is my favorite Guess fragrance still. And I have a lot of fragrances from them. For the money, they do put some good stuff out. Are some of their fragrances really cheap smelling and just okay? Yeah, they have those too. But for 20 bucks, I think this is a shining star from the brand, and one that I strongly encourage you to check out yet again this year if you haven't. Guess 1981 Los Angeles. Well, that's the 10 cheapies that I have for you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I do appreciate all the feedback. And I love hearing from you guys. What cheapies are you looking forward to wearing this year? Type them down in the comments. I'm curious. Were you planning on wearing any of these? Did any of these spark your interest and you've yet to check them out? Definitely let me know down below. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of the 10 that I'm excited to wear, you give them a spray now. You might end up thanking me later. Who knows? Have a good one, guys.